Good morning. My name is Carlos Sánchez. I am from Bolivia. I am one of the authors of this article with Pablo Damián Fernandez. He is from Argentina. And Carlos Eduardo Estefaniak. He's from Brazil. We are from University Federal of Lavras, UFLA, and present this article, a theoretical analysis of the dynamic capabilities to be applied in the business model of the unicorns in Latin America. First, we want to say that this article was made from a bibliographic review of the theories that offer an understanding to organization of a technological nature in times of constant change. The article published in Web of Science and Scopus were used as a database proceeding to perform systematic and comparative analysis between the articles and their keywords. Subsequently, its scope and application in companies were analyzed using comparative tables. The article proposed a conceptual mode for a better understanding and understanding of digital business models. In this case, the unicorns positioned in the theory of the dynamic capabilities. The research intends to explain the behavior of the unicorns, where the theory of the dynamic capabilities should be applied in the digital business model, proposed and addressed by David Teece as a principal author, under alternative propositions of other authors. Comparative tables and the proposal of a theoretical model that allow to understand the success and growth of this business model are established. In the literature review, we are going to say it inform about paradigms prior to the dynamic capabilities. The theory of the dynamic capability is aimed at achieving greater understanding about why some organizations build and maintain competitive advantage in environments such as a current fast-changing ones, and whose origin is closely related to the objective of filling the gaps not covered by three previous paradigms. These paradigms are competitive force, the strategic conflict, and the result-based perspective. Searching many definitions of dynamic capabilities and approach. After a process of integration, union, and fusion, taking into account the aspects that stand out the most important contributions were grouped into the three approaches: capacity building, innovation, and contingencies. We present propositions. In order to better explain the proposal for the present research work, it will be necessary to explain each of these capacities, which together will integrate the dynamic capabilities of the organization. We're going to talk about absorption capacity, innovation capacity, adaptability, and learning capacity. In the proposition 1, in rapidly changing environments, the greater the absorption capacity of the company, the greater the objective of value creation. Proposition 2, in rapidly changing environments, the greater the company's capacity for innovation, the greater the objective of value creation. Proposition 3, in fast-changing environments, the greater the ability of the company to adapt, the greater the objective of value creation. And proposition 4, in fast-changing environments, the greater the learning capacity of the company, the greater the objective of value creation. As a grouping of the four propositions before, we can formulate a global one, which will be our fifth proposition. Proposition 5, in rapidly changing environments, if the organization develops dynamic capabilities, it will be achieve the objective of creating value to a greater extent than it only develops absorption capacity, innovation capacity, learning capacity, or innovation capacity. We are going talking about the methodology, data collection process. The present work tries to offer a definition and a conceptual model regarding the dynamic capabilities in function of the literature, for which a review of open literature was made taking into account keywords as a search criteria in the basis of the Web of Science and Scopus, and based on the theoretical review performed. It has been found convenient to take as a major influence of the theoretical contribution by David Teece, giving the seminal work of Teece in 1997, and its contribution over the following years to date, where it has prevailed in the literature related to the perspective of dynamic capabilities. Although the definition found different in the way they were enunciated, the ability to adapt to rapidly changing environments or in which change are unpredictable is therefore an adequate synthesis of the concept and much more towards issues such as business models in the case we analyze unicorns. Analyze procedures. Next, we will proceed to mention the articles found that explain the behavior of the business models with different theories, and we will stop to develop a more critical analysis with what happens with the literature that addresses the dynamic capabilities to be able to expose how the organization are going incorporating new elements in its structure, to end with the proposed conceptual model, which occurs in digital business model, in this case, the unicorns. Results of the research. Authors who established different theories to understand business models. With regard to the select literature, they were categorized according to the authors, years, title of the article, and what theory is developed in the research to explain the growth phenomena of business models that covered from 2010 to 2019. Authors that under the theory of dynamic capabilities business model are consolidated. The concept of the term dynamic capabilities is born from an approach made by the authors Teece, Pisano, and Shun in 1997, where the dynamic capabilities framework analyzes the source and methods of creation and capture of wealth by private companies that they operate in environments of rapid technological change. That is, the identification of new opportunities and the effective and efficient organization to take advantage of them are generally more fundamental for the creation of private wealth than the creation of strategies. If a strategies involve engagement in a commercial conduct that keep competitors out of balance, increase the cost of rivals, and exclude new participants. So we propose a model of dynamic capabilities. The dynamic vision goes beyond the reconfiguration or learning capacities from a strategic perspective of the organization. It is for Mertes and Palomares 26 to recognize that capacities are the sum of individual and collective learning, which in turn are the result of social process, interaction, and reflection by sharing and exploring inside and outside the organization. Dynamic capabilities is not just another name for a strategy. In the framework of dynamic capabilities, the strategy is closely related to the two but separate from the capabilities. Strong dynamic capabilities lead to a current collection of knowledge and skills necessary to address market opportunities in the near future and the development of a viable business model. The strategy consists in the detailed determination of the ways in which they can be better exploited, given the understanding of senior management on the behavior of rival companies. deciding on which segment to enter, creating new dimension of competition, establishing price points, structuring alliance, focusing on geographic regions, and developing talents are the field of strategy. Showmaker 2018. Therefore, dynamic capabilities will be a source of competitive advantage for organization. It is necessary to determine and study the different capacities, nature, and types of strategies that organizations use. In conclusion, being located in the field of economic evolutions, the theoretical proposal of the dynamic capability has different characteristics depending on the behavior of the environments. In environments with moderate dynamism, characterized by the existence of stable industrial structures, clear business models, identifiable agents, as well as low or no turbulence from politicians and social systems, among others, the creation and the development of analytical routines and details require dynamic capabilities aimed at maintaining the competitive position and the preparation of strategies and instruments to face possible changes from existing knowledge. On the other hand, in very dynamic environments where the attributes that characterize them are very turbulent, the routines from which dynamic capabilities emerge must be reviewed and oriented toward the creation of new specific knowledge to respond competitively to a given situation. So I want to say thank you for all of these institutions: University Federal of Labras, AUFLA, DAE, GEINI, OAS, AIB 2020 Online, my country Bolivia, and the country Brazil. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much.